he continues that quest in earnest here tonight. This Tail of the Tape is brought to you by Toyo Tires, the official tire of the UFC. The 27-year-old Marvin Vettori, the 28-year-old Kevin Holland.
All right, guys, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. We're going to have a clean fight. Touch gloves. Let's do it.
No glove touch.
You hear the cameras clicking, but
man,
every time we get ready for a main event inside this Apex, it seems as though things get exponentially quieter.
Are you going to miss it?
I'm excited to see the fans in 2 weeks.
I'm going to miss it too, though, but I want to see fans miss it.
Marvin Vettori, minus 335, the betting favorite. Kevin Holland comes back at plus 260. This fight clock is brought to you by Toyo Tires, the official tire of the UFC. Vettori out of the southpaw stance in green. Kevin Holland, the orthodox fighter, in black. Of course, Vettori was to face southpaw Darren Till tonight, but Till out with a broken collarbone, and in steps Kevin Holland.
Holland's throwing some from distance right now. Vettori's going to have to find a way to get within range.
What the fuck, bro?
Oh, man.
My bad. Bro, it was right on the balls, bro.
Sorry, but
that's a Marvin Vettori response to getting kicked low.
Well, nobody means to do that, but I get being angry too.
And Holland not only apologized to Vettori, but he apologized to Rafael Cordero in the corner. Cordero trying to reel his pupil back in here.
Oh that was right where Marvin said it was.
Yeah, and he's snapping the kicks too. Like, his deep kicks are strong.
And Marvin started yelling in Marvin's way, but that was low.
Yeah, that was hard low too.
That was a hard low.
And I can assure you that Herb Dean is not going to take a point, nor should he. But just for a little background, right? A referee does have to assess the severity of the blow and how it will impact the rest of the fight. And if the referee believes that enough damage has been done, he can take a point.
Over there.
But he won't do so here. I'm just saying.
Okay. This is a hard warning. There was not much contribution to that foul. Get your weapons together. Fight.
Kevin Holland's looking very fast tonight.
At range, right?
Yep.
Vettori needs to get within the range. But when Holland's fighting good, he can do a lot of things from far.
Yeah, he's quick right now. He just clipped him with
he touched him with that right hand, or that left hand, right hand, sorry.
Haven't been in there 3 weeks ago for 25 minutes.
And this is smart by Marvin Vettori. Get to the body, start trying to wear and drag Kevin down to the ground. Kevin's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So when he gets to his back, a lot of times he starts to play Jiu-Jitsu and he kind of settles, as you saw in the Brunson fight. So if Marvin can get this fight to the ground, it will work to his advantage.
But the benefit of that last fight for Kevin Holland is he knows how important it is to not get taken down.
Yes.
And he stopped that takedown, and these are the transformations of fighters, even with losses. And we're seeing Holland make the adjustments.
Marvin Vettori is a great counter striker, right? But because Kevin's throwing kicks, it's hard for him to time those counter punches. He does a great job of slipping and then ripping when guys try to get at him with the hands. But Kevin's kicking at him, so it's really making it hard for him to land his shots. He did land a good left hand just a second ago.
Holland's takedown defense holding up through 2 minutes.
That was a great attempt by Marvin Vettori, but that's where he needs to go. He needs to go to the legs, right? Holland's such a tall guy that trying to just drag him to the ground will be very difficult.
And Holland has talked about adding muscle mass to really dealing with a lot of guys who are physically stronger and bigger.
And Big Mouth coming out for just a second, talking to Vettori as Vettori's on that takedown, just making him angry there. They're talking to each other now.
I gotta be smart though. If you're Kevin Holland and you're like, all you want to do is wrestle, huh? You try to discourage him from doing the thing that you struggled with so mightily in the last fight.
I like it. And his kicks, man, are lightning right now. He needs to keep with those kicks all night. Vettori doing the right thing. Pressure forward, keep Holland on the heels, and fire combinations.
And again, if you're Marvin Vettori, you go from being a betting underdog against Darren Till, fighting the higher ranked guy, to having all these mounds of pressure now on you as a near 4-to-1 favorite, fighting a guy who's just stepping in.
People don't talk enough about that that Vettori took a big chance here, and he almost, you know, he had a shot with Darren Till, which would move him up. And you're fighting a guy like Kevin Holland, who's extremely hard to fight, and you're allowing the fight to happen to save the card.
I want to see Kevin, look at that. This is a much different approach for Holland than the Brunson fight. He's actually trying to get his feet on the hips to try to get back up, but now he locks full guard.
And you see, as soon as Vettori postured up even a little bit, he started throwing those kicks. Feels like he can take advantage of Vettori if he does posture up.
When he postures, got to use it.
He seemed to intimate in our fighter meeting that he felt like there would be offensive opportunities in that position, but...
Yeah, he said he wants to use, you know, he said he wants to use the omoplatas and all that stuff to create angles in order to create space. So far, we haven't seen it. Close guard right now.
Great job by Vettori, though. He's keeping his hands inside. Look at how he pummels, Cruz. A lot of people miss that when they're watching the ground and pound. You miss the pummeling on the top guy. Look how Vettori just constantly is working his hands back inside before he throws his strikes.
Look at Brunson.
Oh, my goodness.
Was beautiful.
That was a beautiful
Holland.
change by Holland.
He went side to side with his hips and created like a ball roll over the top. I mean, that was just having good body awareness there by Holland. Beautiful stand-up.
Ooh. Big left hand from Vettori. Holland appeared to eat it pretty well. Just a totally different look in Kevin Holland's eyes tonight.
Yeah, he's angry.
Vettori with some late pressure here in round one. Round two coming up on ABC. With round two and round one, Kevin Holland unofficially outstriking Marvin Vettori 37-28. One takedown on 2 attempts for the Italian Vettori.
Kevin landed some good strikes. Felt like Vettori with the top control. Landed some good shots on top. Holland got a great escape. Very competitive first round. Oh!
3-2 down the middle. Beautiful. Ooh, that was like a hook kick. Faked the low kick and he went high with it, landed it.
Pretty good left-hand counter from Vettori after Holland had landed one.
That's Vettori's move, man. He slips and then he just comes back with 2 or 3 punches. That time he used it to get to his takedown, and now he's got Holland down on his back again. And we saw this in the last fight. Sadiq Yusuf was able to use the guillotine to try to force his opponent to defend, and by making him defend, he was able to get back up, but Marvin Vettori was able to get out of that guillotine attempt.
Now, as the exhaustion starts to set in, will Holland be able to use that sweep again? Will he be able to create a new opportunity?
Or will he just accept the bottom position again?
Accept it?
Right? A lot of times, he's long, they just accept, okay, this is where we're going to spend the fight.
Yep. That's why it's so important to stop the takedowns.
Not only because you don't want to give top position, John, but also because it discourages your opponent from continuing to attempt them.
Yeah. Well, no such acceptance from Kevin Holland, as you see his bodily movements, trying desperately to leverage a hip and get upright here. But a lot of people felt like this is what Marvin was going to try to do. Lean way heavily on Holland and make these takedowns, you know, 1 per round really count.
That's exactly what anyone should try to do, though, if they fight Kevin after seeing the Brunson fight, because he's so dangerous when you're forced to stand with him. And you've seen that with Vettori, right? He's been able to touch Vettori up at times. So for Marvin to get this takedown right now has been so smart. He's got to watch his arm, though.
I think for Holland, the question is, should he work his getting off the mat defense or should he work his takedown defense? You know, which is more important, DC, do you think, for Holland? Because when he gets taken down, he tends to spend a lot of time here. If he just stops the takedown in general, then he doesn't have to worry about this so much, right? So they're both hard disciplines, but which is harder to learn?
I think you gotta work on avoiding, right? You gotta work on not getting here because the ground game is developed, right? He's a black belt. He isn't green in the ground. It's a matter of grappling and fighting, not just doing jiu-jitsu. It's very difficult, but you got to learn to defend right away. But, I mean, look at Marvin Vettori, man. He's postured up over him. He's got enough height to generate power. He's keeping himself out of danger, and he's just got him stacked up against the side of the octagon.
Keep working that body, right?
And he's comfortable. He's not using any, he's not in any kind of danger or freaking out at all. He's very calm right here, Vettori. So he's not using a lot of energy.
And for a guy like Marvin Vettori, who grapples all the time, and he's in the gym with some of the best grapplers in the world, he can do this all day, right? Riding him from the top, beating on Kevin Holland, landing good ground and pound, and just controlling.
10th UFC appearance today for the Kings MMA rep Marvin Vettori.
And every time Holland circles his head back to the center, Marvin does a fantastic job of just moving him back towards the side of the octagon.
Big strike got through there for Marvin. You see the round 2 total strikes, many of these landing on the ground, of course.
Yeah, Vettori's made the right adjustment in shoving Holland against the fence and going for the takedown and then ground and pounding out. This is what you want to do to have a...
Vettori powerfully drags Holland back to the ground. Less than a minute here to go in the round.
45 seconds. 40 seconds. Push control, Marvin. Keep breathing in, keep breathing.
Rafael Cordero calling for a little bit more damage down the stretch here in round 2.
Keep the right shot. 25 seconds. Keep the right shot.
Oh, big shots by Vettori here.
20 seconds. 15 seconds.
Ground control time starting to pile up for Marvin, and he's making these ground strikes count.
Yeah, he's making them count. And when Holland gets back to his feet, he immediately gets his hands locked to make sure that he's in position to get another takedown as soon as he needs it.
But look, I mean, Holland's on his feet. He took a chance, gave his back, and he got up.
Yep, he sure did.
Dominant round 2 for the Italian. A little frustration there, Daniel, from Kevin Holland. Cut seems manageable, but perhaps as the doctor comes in to look at it, Holland worried about that eye potentially shutting.
Absolutely, yeah, and it is shutting. You know, but that's...
Can you see out of the left eye? Can you see out of the left eye?
What do you mean? Can you see out of your eye?
I see you.
Okay, that's it.
It's that constant right hand, just constantly touching
Back
him
behind the black
right on that eye. And that's what you're going to see again this round, right? You're going to see Marvin try to get a takedown and get right back to work on that eye. And I'm interested to see how Holland deals with seeing punches coming on that side.
Well, he's covering his eye, and I don't think he can see out of it, if I'm being honest.
Well, he said it in the beginning of the break. He goes, I can't see.
Yeah.
But you can't tell, you can't get a fighter to tell the official that he can't see knowing the fight's going to be ended.
Yep.
Marvin Vettori with 3 takedowns thus far, his personal best in the UFC, trying to get a 4th here. Holland providing some resistance, but now has been put on his back again.
That was so nice. Marvin Vettori got to the double leg, and then he just went to his knee and windshield wiper is what we call it in wrestling. Just create an angle, get from in front of your opponent, get off to the side, and then get to your finish. And that's exactly what he did to Kevin Holland. Now look for him to try to get him back, stacked up against the side of the octagon, posture up, and just start to drop those same type of punches he dropped it in that one. Oh, beautiful, he's in mount now.
The basics from getting up from the bottom are not there for Holland. Digging underhooks, getting the bottom leg out, using the fence to keep them off your back. Those little things, the tiny little...
Yeah,
he's
Marvin's setting up an arm triangle here. Look at that, Marvin setting up an arm triangle. Oh, he's gonna get it. He's gotta just get his head down, and he's gotta get off the mount.
So it's a little bit high, but...
Oh, he's got it, man.
Now it's tight in
That's
there.
tight. It's over.
Yep, that's tight.
Holland trying to survive.
That's gonna be so tight.
There's a lot of time left.
I don't understand, you know, Marvin's got to drop the shoulder, right? His body needs to drop, pressure into the neck. A lot of people believe that this choke is a squeeze. It's more of a choke on the outside of your neck. The blood starts to go to the head and everything. It's tough to deal with.
This is a tough one to get because it blows your arms out and wears you out, and there's a tiny bit of space where you can breathe if you don't get the blood choke right on the carotid artery. And the guy on bottom can make it seem like he's in trouble and wear out the top guy's arms. And that's what Holland was doing there. He's kind of buying his time, but Vettori in north-south doing what he needs to do, making the adjustment, keeping the position over the submission.
The crazy thing, though, is because he went for the sub, he's in a worse position than he was in mount. He could have stayed in mount and just started to land punches.
Yep.
But now he's back up standing. Holland's eye is really damaged. That was a nice elbow in the first round that landed along the side of the octagon that got him.
Well, his whole posture's different.
Yes.
His hands are different. Everything's different right now. He didn't want to admit it, but you could see it with the way he's holding his guard. It's probably difficult to see.
Look, he did it again.
Yeah,
Pulled him back, dropped to his knee, got to his angle. Marvin Vettori has improved tremendously over the course of his mixed martial arts career here in the UFC.
Yeah.
He's gotten better in all facets of mixed martial arts.
And they're just steadily belted up in jiu-jitsu, worked on the wrestling, absolutely.
And on the other side, I don't think Holland had enough time to work on what he could have learned from the Brunson fight to just pick up those defenses, pick up the takedown defense, maybe the separation from the bottom. Those are the little adjustments that when you take a fight right away, back to back, you don't get to make those adjustments and learn from little things.
Holland's defending with more intensity today than he did in the Brunson fight, right? He's showing more intensity in terms of his defense. But there just wasn't that much time to get better. That's what I was pointing to with McGregor versus Poirier again. If McGregor didn't get to work right away on learning the leg defense, same thing's going to show itself in the rematch. You got to be very careful with the time spent trying to improve in the areas where you struggle.
Well, 2020 was the year of Kevin Holland, 5-0. Some adversity to begin his 2021. And as great a fight as Derek Brunson fought 3 weeks ago, you know, Holland was over those 25 minutes.
He is. And you know what? Honestly, Kevin Holland came here with a different mindset, different mentality going into the fight. It's just Marvin Vettori has just been better. It's that grapple-heavy style that he's employing on him that's really wearing on him.
He looks a lot stronger than Holland right now, too.
Well, that's part of the equation, too. A lot of people feel like Kevin Holland could be a champion at 170 pounds, maybe could do it at 85, but even he has talked about a 3 or 4 month layoff to build his body up to this weight class, or even 6 months, but it's not his style.
By no means is Kevin Holland weak, but Vettori just looks very strong in these positions, in the grappling positions.
Oh,
good
big
offense.
right hand from Kevin Holland.
And Holland's in this fight. He just needs to be first and keep going, and that's what he's doing. When he's having fun, he's his best.
Oh, Kevin Holland's letting it go. Look at that. Yep. This pressure's good.
Come on, come on.
Certainly has the athlete to do it, fatigued or otherwise.
Fight.
We have hit the main event rounds, round 4 of a possible 5, and a big early land by Vettori that Holland didn't appear to love. Nice left hand from Holland.
Nice right hand there by Holland.
Yeah, when Holland lets his offense go, he's very hard to deal with on the feet.
Problem is, it's hard to do that because Marvin's such a great counter striker. He really just slides out of range and then he lands, and then right away goes back to his wrestling. I think the biggest issue for Kevin Holland is he doesn't recognize what's going on behind him on takedown attempts. When guys get on his hips, right, he doesn't recognize that they're locking their hands right away. He thinks defending everything in front of him, when in reality, you got to be paying attention to everything, because you know the moment those hands are locked, that's the most danger. You can defend a guy just holding on to 2 legs because you have the ability to spread your legs and do everything else. But he just doesn't pick up on what's going on behind his back.
I think a down block would very heavily help Holland. And a down block is just when you get your arms down in front of the shot, like a gate, to stop them from getting to your legs. I haven't seen one down block at Holland, and, you know, a lot of times he doesn't need them, but he does against Vettori.
Yeah.
Well, right after this main event, don't miss a recap of it all on the UFC Fight Night post show on ESPN+. Michael Bisping, Paul Felder, Megan O'Leary, Brendan Fitzgerald, all on hand. They will be joined by the former UFC middleweight champion Robert Whittaker. They'll get his thoughts on this main event and, of course, his headlining fight against Kelvin Gastelum next week on ESPN.
Like he was almost up. He had a moment where he could just pop his head, get to a power position, bring your knees underneath you, and pop up and get on the hand control in Kevin Holland, and instead he rolled through and went back to guard. And it's not that it's wrong, but it's just a different style, and Vettori's winning on top. So to get up would help him. He's got to get up here. Get your head up, stand up here, get on the hands if you're Kevin Holland.
Look at Marvin collecting the right wrist of Kevin Holland. Now he's going to step through, take that little ankle ride.
Head up, head up. There it is. Head up, head up.
You got to isolate your hips if you're Holland. But once again, Dom, look, he turned back.
Double. Yep.
Look, but no, he never broke the hands. He turned his back to the fence. And again, Marvin just kept his hands locked. It's beautiful by Marvin Vettori. But again, it's just like not recognizing. It's not he doesn't have he doesn't have the, Holland doesn't have the understanding of it.
It's basic stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of basics. But Marvin Vettori is putting him in these positions, right? Yeah. Marvin's fighting a fantastic fight. You know, we always talk about what you're the favorite, you're supposed to win and all that. Sometimes that's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
Is do what you're supposed to. And Marvin Vettori is doing right now what he's supposed to do.
So 8 takedowns now on 13 attempts unofficially. He has been on the wrong end of 14 takedowns after being taken down just 18 times in his previous 10 UFC starts. Don't shoot the messenger.
No, I hear you, John, but it was a recognition, right? It's now a recognition. This is something he's going to deal with for the rest of his career, right? Everybody knows now. The danger's in the standing. You can get him down, then you just got to know how to grapple. But even, look, Marvin Vettori deserves credit because I feel like tonight he's fighting a better version of a Kevin Holland with a more clear understanding of what he needs to do off of his back. He's not accepting the bottom position as much. He's more active off the back to try to get up. But Marvin Vettori, to his credit, has had an answer for everything Holland has tried.
He is outclassing him by fighting an experienced fight. It might not be super knockout crazy fight or anything, or, you know, brawl, but he's strategically beating Kevin Holland the path of least resistance style. And he's ground and pounding him and controlling him position over submission. And he's doing his job as a veteran.
I see a few times where Vettori actually goes back into the guard. When he gets to half guard, he starts to feel Kevin shrimp his hips. He mounts, postures up, and starts to land strikes.
Nice job by Vettori to minimize anything coming back with those up kicks. Final seconds here of round 4. Holland once again proving very hard to hurt or put away.
So long. He's so long, John, right? So when you're punching through arms and legs and then moving. That's why I said it's to Marvin's credit that he's beating this version of Kevin Holland in the way that he...
Right here, a left hand lands from Vettori, and he follows it up to the clinch. More striking in this one. Nice left hand. And here comes the takedown. Gets his hands locked, and once he gets them locked, he just turns the corner. Old school windshield wiper, turn the corner. Goes back, control. Probably round 5 is going to be a similar tactic from Vettori. Let's see what adjustments Holland's going to make.
All right, it all comes down to this 5th and final round. Teddy Lucio and that corner has managed that Holland cut pretty well.
He's still got a lot of energy in him, Holland.
Oh,
yeah,
he
he's completely in this fight. It's not over. So, Vettori, be safe.
Oh,
be careful here.
Oh,
already hurt him.
Oh, he hurt him.
Yep.
But this, look at this.
No takedown.
Oh, it's the wrapping. It's the wrapping. Like, it's, you know, when you watch him wrap, right? When he wraps down. Instead of getting his back and stuffing, he wraps around the body. Right? That's what happened with Ngannou initially. Ngannou would wrap the body, but instead now he's learned to stuff the head and cover. Kevin Holland has to learn a few of those simple things to learn to defend.
And you saw when Derek Brunson got tagged in round 2 in that main event 3 weeks ago, immediately was able to reverse course, get Holland down. And you saw Rafael Cordeiro sort of exhale a little bit after Vettori got him down a moment ago.
They've worked really hard. They've been diligent in trying to get Marvin Vettori into the spot. So to fight so well for 4 rounds and then get to the 5th round and Holland land something that ended, it would be devastating for them.
And it's a little bit of a balancing act, Dom, I would think, in terms of the risk, right? Because you put Kevin Holland away emphatically. Maybe you're fighting for the title, but you got to win, man. I mean, you got to preserve the winning streak.
And like you said earlier in this is like a guy who's not ranked as high as Till was in the first place. So he was ready to move up in the division against a guy like Till, and he took a big chance facing a very... He's on the feet with Holland. Holland clips him every now and then and could hurt him. So it's like, put him on his back. Go that way with him. That's where you see Vettori making the adjustment on.
And Vettori is chasing these takedowns. And he's been so effective by literally just getting an angle. He does it every single time that he gets to his legs. He just gets an angle, pops his head off to the side, and then he looks and runs in the direction that he wants to take Kevin Holland's body.
Well, when you see Holland, he keeps his hips completely square. He doesn't turn his hips against the fence where he's like parallel with the fence. He just stays square with the fence, which makes it easier for the hands to get locked for Vettori, and he's just taking advantage of that easy adjustment.
So that is 10 takedowns on 15 attempts for Marvin Vettori. That ties the UFC middleweight record held by Aaron Simpson and Bartosz Babinski.
Beautiful pass there to the left by Vettori, right in the half guard.
Let's work.
Keep doing damage, man. Keep walking. Let's go.
Need to work.
2 minutes, man. Keep
No
going.
question that Holland's a talented fighter, and he's extremely good. These are small adjustments he's got to make in his takedown defense realistically.
Well, ultimately, that's the only thing that's costing him right now, right, is his inability to stop middleweight, where you're fighting big, strong guys.
Now Vettori has Holland mounted again.
He's gone to this position multiple times. Kevin Holland is so comfortable with you in an arm triangle choke that Marvin should just ignore the fact that he seems to be setting it up. He needs to just drop ground and pound on Kevin Holland.
1 minute and a half. Keep pounding, go.
Oh, you hear Holland's corner say, stand him up. Like, hey, listen, if Herb let Jim Miller and Selecki lay like they did, then these guys are
not standing this up. No. I mean, he's mounted. To stand him up while he's mounted. There it is. Now there's a chance. He took back on the double. See how he's square with the fence? He's not parallel. He's not turning his feet parallel with the fence. He's square.
He's getting taken down.
It makes it easy. Yeah,
Vettori's going to come off to the left, and there it is. Yeah. Just come off to his left and drive. And now Marvin Vettori, right? Now he has the record, John?
11 takedowns. That's a new middleweight record. Less than a minute now to go.
Man. You know, when they look back at this, though, the team of Marvin Vettori, they're going to be very happy with what they saw. They saw their guy go into a very difficult situation with a very game, tough Kevin Holland, the guy that came here prepared to win.
And I think the question beckons, as I alluded to about a minute ago, is this performance enough to get him that rematch and a championship opportunity against Israel Adesanya?
You know, I think that you just have to look at the division. How does Robert Whittaker look next week? Does that excite the champion? You know, because Izzy didn't seem too interested in fighting Robert again. So let's see. We have to see. But big moment for Marvin Vettori.
No doubt.